This is the second video introducing LTspice. In this video, you will learn how to put a dependent source in a circuit and how to do a DC sweep. The handout corresponding to this video can be found in a link in the description below the video. To begin, we need to open LTspice. This is done by going to the Start menu and typing LTspice into the search entry and pressing Enter. Once you've opened the program, you'll see a startup screen. Go to File and New Schematic. If the background is blank without any dots, go to the View menu and select Show Grid. Looking at the schematic in the handout, the circuit consists of a DC source, 3 resistors, and a current-controlled voltage source. The 0-volt supply is used as a current meter for the dependent source. Let's start by placing the DC source. Click on the voltage icon in the menu bar. Place the component by left-clicking in the schematic space. End the placement mode by pressing Escape. The value for the voltage source is to be 1 volt. To set this, right-click on the voltage source and enter 1 for the DC value and click OK. Most schematics you draw will have resistors. Since this is a very common part, there's a shortcut key for placing them. Press R. This gives us a resistor. Place 3 resistors in the schematic as shown in the handout by clicking on the location for the part. To reorient a resistor, use Ctrl R to rotate it. Once you have placed all 3 resistors, we will then go back and enter the values of the components. To change the values, right-click on the resistor. For R1, the value should be 2 kiloohms. Enter 2K. Click OK. R2 should be 3 kiloohms. Enter 3K. And R3 should be 5.1 kiloohms. Enter 5.1K. The component being introduced in this demonstration is the current-controlled voltage source. To place the current-controlled voltage source, click on the Add Component icon. Select the part H and click Place. Since this is a controlled source, you will need to add a controlling device for the current. For a current meter, we will use a voltage source with a voltage of 0 volts. Place the voltage source above the 5.1 kiloohm resistor. Set the value to 0 volts by right-clicking on the voltage source. Enter 0 for the DC value, click OK. To complete the setup of the dependent source, right-click on the dependent source. In the dialog that comes up, you can now select the SPICE model, in this case enter V2. That will make it so the current through that source is the controlling parameter for the dependent source. In the handout, you can see the gain of the controlled source is to be 10K. Enter 10K into the box labeled value in the dialog box. The last component you need to place, as is needed in every schematic, is the ground. The ground can be selected by pressing G or by selecting the ground symbol in the menu bar. Once all the components are placed, the circuit is ready to be wired. Click the Wire tool in the menu bar or simply press the letter W. Wiring begins when you click on the terminal of a component and ends when you click on the terminal you wish to connect to. Continue this process until all the wires are placed by clicking once where you want the wire to begin and clicking where you want the wire to end. To change the direction of the wire, left-click. Remember that when wires cross, if you want them to be connected, you must click on the crossing point. Otherwise, the wires will not be connected. Once the circuit is constructed, you can set up the simulation. From the Simulate menu, select Configure Analysis. Select the DC Sweep tab. From the handout, the simulation given is to sweep the independent DC voltage source from negative 100 volts to positive 500 volts in increments of 10 volts. Set the name of the first source to Sweep to V1. Select Linear for the type of sweep. Set the start value to -100, the stop value to 500, and the increment to 10. Click OK and place the .dc directive in the schematic. The simulation is run by clicking on the green arrow button in the menu bar. A blank graph will appear. By clicking on the top 3 nodes with the voltage probe icon active, graphs of the 3 voltage levels as a function of the sweep voltage appear. You are also able to graph the current through the device by hovering the cursor over the component and left-clicking. This busies the graph, so any trace can be deleted by clicking the X icon in the menu bar and clicking on the name of the trace to be deleted when the scissor icon is displayed. If the line widths are not acceptable, they can be modified by right-clicking in the graph area and selecting Waveform Settings. Select a new value for the data trace width. I will select 5 this time. If the color of a particular trace is not to your liking, right-clicking on the trace name will allow you to select a different color. Click OK to apply the new color selection. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and have a great day.